Hey, good morning, friends. It's Julie. How are you doing this morning? Hope you're doing great. Julie Hamilton with Life Builders, bringing you simple tips to build a strong and healthy life on. Thanks for joining us this morning. Or if you're on the replay, let me know. Say, hey, I'm watching on the replay. Welcome to today. I saw this. Oh, actually, first let me back up. I saw on Facebook this morning, it is International Women's Day. And I just wanted to say thank you to all the women out there, whether you're working in a job, whether you're at home with your kids. I just want to say and celebrate you today and say that I appreciate everything you're doing. You know, women are a work of art. They are a treasure. And I didn't realize it. My friend Christy Wright actually, she said, let's go to women's conferences. I'd be like, but God has given me the privilege of working with women in Propel over these past 2 years. And I have to say they are the most magnificent creatures on the planet. And all that we deal with, all that we balance, all that we work through. Christy says, I'm in bed, LOL, yay for women. I mean, you guys are magnificent. You're magnificent creatures, and I appreciate you, and I think you're quite amazing. And I'm so glad that God created women. I mean, men are amazing too, but there's a big difference between men and women. There's just differences. And I think that you're pretty phenomenal. So congratulations on International Women's Day. Let's celebrate us. I wish we could all go out in like one big party and go to the restaurant all together, like all the women in the world, but then we'd all have to go to the bathroom at the same time and it'd be really crowded and a super long line. So that's not going to happen. But anyway, today I'm talking a little bit about where impressive things begin. Now, we live to bless, not to impress. So I don't want to go to that place where we're like, my life is all about doing impressive things. No. But what happens is very often we see people doing things and we're like, I want to do that. And we fail to examine the beginning stages. We fail to examine where that impressive thing that we want to do began. And today I want to take a look at two of the places that it begins. The first one, let me back up. Yesterday, I saw a video from Will Smith, and I don't know if you guys follow him on YouTube or Instagram, but, he puts out some deep thoughts and some good stuff. And I saw a video of him yesterday saying how many people come up to him and they're like, I want to do what you do, man. I want to do that, and they want to be an actor. And he said, and I can tell you exactly why 99% of them will never do what I do. And he boiled it down all to self-discipline. And he's like, you can't even take care of yourself, like eating the foods that are in your best interest. And I was like, wow, that's really, really good. I mean, I'm going to take that instead of just being like, I can't eat gluten or sugar or dairy or whatever. I'm going to be like, you know what? It's in my best interest not to eat gluten, not my best interest not to eat sugar. So that was like a good big nugget. But, all these people want to do this impressive thing, but they don't sow the seed to grow it into doing that impressive thing. And here's two places that those impressive things starts. The first one is impressive things begin with the unimpressive things. Dave Ramsey started his business at a card table in his living room, and now he has, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of employees, and he's affected hundreds and thousands of people's lives. But he started at a card table. Damien, my husband, is a photographer. He photographed, next week this week, Condoleezza Rice, and he's got Kelly Clarkson on the calendar and all these amazing things. But do you know what he did before this? He worked for 10 years selling pipe to developers who were building water systems in the ground. I'm not being very technical about it, but do you know what he did in those 10 years? He worked on contracts that were in the millions of dollars. And I think that's one of his best skills now is also working on contracts and terms, and he knows a ton about all that kind of stuff, and he is so able to navigate these big things where you have to have NDAs and, all these different types of, contracts that you need for, photographing these kinds of people. And so, a lot of our impressive things begin with unimpressive things. Jack Ma, who's the founder of Alibaba, who's kind of like China's Amazon, he got rejected from 30 jobs before he started Alibaba. He applied at KFC, and there was 24 applicants, and 23 of them made it, and he didn't. He also applied to be the police. They said, you're not any good. I mean, he got rejected from Harvard 10 times. I mean, those are unimpressive things, but we have to start somewhere, right? We have to start somewhere, and oftentimes we start by doing unimpressive things, the hard work, the, going to the airport, the brainstorming, the writing. You might be starting a blog and you're like, wow, this is not very impressive what I'm having to do to start this blog. It's okay. It's going to be fine. You just keep at it and you keep plugging away. And then the other place where impressive things starts is in hard work. And here's the question. Here's what I want to ask you. Can you name 3 works of Shakespeare? Name 3 works of Shakespeare. Think about it and see if you can name 3. Okay, so we got like Romeo and Juliet. We got maybe Macbeth. We've got King Lear, Midsummer Night's Dream. Anyway, there's a few of them that we can name, but I want you to listen to this. I got the wrong page in my notes. Did you know that Shakespeare wrote 37 plays? We can name 4 or 5, but he wrote 37 plays and 154 sonnets. Did you know that Mozart wrote 600 pieces of work before his death at the age of 35? Beethoven wrote 650 pieces. Bach wrote over 1,000 pieces, and we only know a few, you guys. We only know the great ones. Einstein had 248 publications. Edison, whom we know for the light bulb, right? You may know a couple of other things by him. He had over 1,000 patents of inventions that he wrote. Picasso, listen to this. Picasso had 1,800 paintings, 1,200 sculptures, 2,800 ceramics, and 20,000 drawings. Picasso. And yet we only know a few. And even Maya Angelou, she wrote 166 poems, and she actually wrote 6 autobiographical books. I don't know if that's a word, autobiographical books. But I'm saying that to say that, even all those people, we think, wow, they're amazing, and they had this, great thing. But if we don't invest in the work to create it, if you create one thing, it's probably not going to be that great. But if you create 10 things, you're going to get closer to the greatness. If you create 100 things, you're going to get even closer to the greatness. If you create 1,000 things, there's going to be some of those things in that work, in the body of work, that are going to stand out from all of the others. And do you know how we create amazing things? Is by creating a lot of work, creating a lot of ideas. And so if you're, on the track where you're like bummed because your one idea that you came up with didn't work, I want to encourage you to start generating ideas, start generating pieces of work. I mean, like I said with Shakespeare, he's got 37 plays and we only know 5. What are all the other 32 plays about? Or, Bach had over 1,000 pieces and we only know a few of them. How were the other, 996 or whatever? So anyway, I just want to encourage you today. That's 2 places that impressive things begin. One is with the unimpressive work. So never be ashamed of what you're doing. When you're sowing seeds in the beginning, it says don't despise small beginnings, because those are the places that big things begin. So don't despise small beginnings. Do the things that you need to do, even as unimpressive as they are, whether, you know what you're doing. And number 2 is you need to work hard. You're not going to get to the place where you see other people that you want to go unless you work hard. That's just as simple as can be. So anyway, I hope that gives you an encouragement to continue on in your journey with what you're creating, what you're thinking, what you're building. And I hope that helps you move along and keep going and maybe even like reignite what you're doing. So I hope you have an amazing weekend. I love you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me. And I wish you the very, very best. May your minds be fierce and your heart strong and your spirit kind. I love that heart, Eliana. I saw it. All right. Love you guys. Bye.